Hey, Chicago investors, the citywide ADU expansion goes into play April 1st, 2026, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Mark Ainley, partner, founder, GC Realty Development, also co-host of Chicago's #1 real estate investing podcast, Straight Up Chicago Investor. And today we're going to talk about ADU. So one of the biggest things that we talk about on the podcast, or we're talking about in circles when it comes down to rent and supply and demand, is the limited amount of new units being brought to the market. You know, where we're going to talk about city or suburbs, there's just a lack of new inventory. And if new stuff does come on, affordability then comes into question. So we'll talk specifically about the city here today with their new citywide ADU expansion that's coming into play here in 2026. But this is a problem everywhere in the Chicago market and maybe even the Midwest, just because the inability to get affordable new units to the market. So if you're an investor or if you're a developer, and you want to make tons of money here in the next decade, there's no better way than to figure out how to solve the puzzle of getting affordable units to market. So one way that the city's trying to combat affordability and additional dwelling units is rolling out the citywide ADU expansion here in 2026. So for historical context, in 2020, the City Council passed the ADU pilot program, which ultimately went into effect of May 2021. And what they did there is they took 5 little pockets of the city and said, hey, if you have properties in these areas and you could roll into this new problem that is basically, or roll into this new program that is basically a reduced timeline and reduced expense to get whether it be a garden apartment turned into a legal unit, a granny flat kind of added, the coach houses built or coach houses added, attic apartments legalized. So all of that was put to test, and I don't have the numbers here today, but it wasn't a staggering amount that took advantage of it. So, but it was enough to have the city bring it back to the table for the entire council to really consider doing this citywide, and that's what they passed in 2025. That's going to roll out here April 1st. So, you know, a little caveat here, and this is probably the most frustrating part about this new one here coming out 2026 is aldermen can elect to remove their wards from this. They can basically opt out. Everyone's opted in until the aldermen opt out, and there's already been a handful that have opted out, and downtown is excluded as well too. So, you know, those are a couple big caveats. Now, you know, some of the processes within even this new citywide ADU version or the pilot program, they still were cumbersome, and they still, you know, fairly expensive. And I know they're still working on things like that inside the building department and inside City Hall to be able to expedite some of that even within this pilot program. So I'm excited about anything new that's going to come from it. I plan on reporting later in the year about actually the number of people that are taking advantage of it, or talking about how many wards are actually opting in or opting out. I think that will be a big tell on how successful this program could be. So stay tuned. As of April 1st, this will come out, and I'll definitely continue to report on anything that we learn about it. Talk soon.